Hey everyone, this is Lean and welcome back to the Crafty Meraki YouTube channel. Today I'm combining this Sprinkling You with Love stamp set for my favorite things with the Entourage, Meraki Paradise and the Scenic Root Slimline. So first of all, I'm starting with my background, therefore I'm going to cut out a slimline panel using these two slimline dies together. I love the fact that this Scenic Root Slimline has this amazing basic rectangle that you can use to cut out your slimline panel, and then you have that gorgeous stitching detail on the edges. Now I only want to run this panel through once through my die cutting machine, so that's why I'm already trying to figure out placement for that second die as well, so that I can just do it in one go and have everything for this card. So I'm using my T-square ruler to align this Entourage Meraki Paradise straight. And once I'm happy with placement, I'm going to use some purple tape, keep it in place with that, and then run it through. So I did that. Now I'm going to reposition these circles into the areas where they were cut out. I'm using my purple tape to keep them all together and in place, and then I'm going to use my stencil to create a really soft and subtle background in these circle windows. So for this background, I'm going to leave the rest of the panel white. I am using a cloud stencil to add some clouds on top of these circles using my favorite distress ink, Cracked Pistachio. So I'm really softly ink blending some clouds. This is going to be a white card, you can say, but I wanted that subtle detail behind the images in these circles. So I'm working my way through all of these 4 circles, and once this is done, I have all my background pieces ready. So it's as easy as that. You can also do the complete panel with this background, but I just thought that this was lovely. I'm putting that aside. I'm going to stamp out my sentiment, and that's going to be underneath those circles, just in black, the same ink that I will use for my images, Gina K Designs Amalgam ink. And next up, we can start with the coloring. So for the coloring today, as I said in the beginning, Sprinkling You with Love, an adorable stamp set for my favorite things. I'm going to do some Copic coloring, really simple Copic coloring today. This one is going to be colored in with warm grays, and then the bear will be colored in with some earth tones. And I'm working my way from my darkest color towards my lightest. The paper that I'm using is Transotype Perfect Coloring Paper, and personally I prefer having at least 2 layers to get that blend that I want. If needed, I can always add more. It all depends of the color family of the blend. If my marker is dry, then sometimes that is also an issue. We just keep going until we're happy with the end result. Now for the bear, I'm using a really warm brown combination, which is E18, E15, E33 and E53. And again, going from darkest to lightest. Now there are many ways to copy color. Personally, I prefer going from darkest to lightest, but there are also a lot of people that start with just 1 layer of the lightest color and then build up from there. Anything goes as long as you are enjoying the coloring and you like the end result, then I think you're doing the right thing. So here I am on my 2nd layer to get that blend. Also, if you're having troubles with blending, maybe you're missing a marker or not, but you can have some troubles from time to time. I personally find that when you're flicking, there is already some help to get the blend that you want. If that doesn't go, then maybe a tip to tip can help to get that color in between the ones you're used already. Can always be handy. When I go outside the lines, I just use a colorless blender. That is always really close to me. I cannot color without it. There is every time something that I need to fix. So I just use that, really simple. So for the clouds, I'm not going to color them completely. I want it to have a really fluffy look. So I'm trying to add that shadow on the left side and also underneath the bunny. And then I'm using this G000 to flick it out towards the wide areas. And I think it's kind of looks fluffy. I decided to do this umbrella in rainbow colors, which is always fun. I think personally a rainbow cheers everyone up. So a little rainbow detail on your card is always a good choice. I'm just really simple using 2 colors every time because you can do that. And it's a small area, so I don't mind that there are only 2 markers combined together. I did a little mistake here. I started with my violets while I still had a blue combination that wasn't a BG. So I tried to sort of fix it with the colorless blender, but purple or violet is quite present. So the colorless blender didn't really work. I also think that it was a bit dry, but I just went over it twice with my blue markers and I don't think you can really see it. And then my final color is pink. So for the clothing of the bear, I decided to use the same BG combination for the shirt or the top, and then just a really soft subtle blue for the pants. Not the same blue as in my rainbow, more subtle. And then once everything is colored in, I can use the dies to cut it out. And then it's time to assemble the card, which is quite a fun part because you can see everything come together and you know that you did enough or your card is almost finished. So I really like that, assembling everything. So to adhere everything well and to keep the orientation of my circles, I'm temporarily adding my big panel on top of my card base. Then I'm going to add new purple tape on the front this time and remove the one in the back. This way my clouds will not be shifting. So I'm just going to add some adhesive on the back of these circles and inlay them in this amazing panel. Now that I'm slowly removing the purple tape, I don't want the circles to come out again. And then I can lift up my panel because it was only temporarily adhered. And now I can use some foam tape to give this card some dimension. It's a really simple card. There is a lot of wide area, but I like that. You can fill it up if you want to. Really simple to do. But I decided to leave a lot of white space just to add some interest. I am making sure that I have some dimension going on. I think it's always lovely. From time to time I'm too lazy to do that, but not this time. So just making sure that the back of this panel is completely covered with foam tape. And then I am really carefully placing it on top of my card base. Now for the images, I am going to adhere them using a combination of liquid glue, and where necessary, I am also going to use a bit of that foam tape behind the images just to get that same height as the panel. And then some liquid glue there where it's overlapping with the wide panel. A bit playful. And then because we have this sprinkling you with love sentiment, I decided to add some details. Today I'm using the heart sprinkles mix from Trinity stamp, while I'm only using the pink ones today. And I'm just gathering them all over this panel, giving it some extra interest. I didn't want to go overboard because it's a simple card, although it's a slimline. So it was a bit fiddling getting everything where I wanted it, but once I was happy, I could adhere everything using some liquid glue. There was a lot of contemplating whether it was okay or not, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. So before calling this card finished after adhering everything, I'm going to add some final details. Aside from these hearts, I'm also going to add some glossy accents. Not everywhere, of course, but definitely on that umbrella. From time to time I also do it on the noses of the critters, because that's also really cute when that is glossy. But yeah, and then this card will be finished. I contemplated also about adding some stickles to the clouds, but then having that one heart on the cloud where the bunny is sitting, I was like, okay, that's more than enough on that cloud, so decided to leave it like this. I hope that you like the end result, and of course that you enjoyed watching this video. I want to thank you all for stopping by, and I hope to see you next time again. Bye!